a KQED television production.
Another umami bomb. Umami bomb.
Check Please Bay Area is made possible by the members of KQED and by Total Wine & More offers over 8,000 wines, 2,500 beers, and 3,000 spirits with specialists on hand to provide advice on any item. Now open in Mountain View, Pleasant Hill, and Fremont.
La Tour Angèle Artisan Oils, French-inspired and handcrafted in Northern California. La Tour Angèle creates natural, healthy cooking oils that add new flavor to everyday dishes. Sutter Health CPMC, investing in community care for more than 150 years, including 2 new smart hospitals. Your city, your hospital. CPMC2020.org.
Oakland International Airport. Now with flights all over the world. iFlyOAK.com.
Mattress systems from European Sleepworks, working to improve comfort and wellness for over 40 years. At Adeline and Ashby in Berkeley. Online at sleepworks.com.
Natural and engineered stone, designer tiles. IRG has over 250 choices and 10,000 slabs. IRG in Brisbane and Dublin, and at marblecompany.com.
Hi, I'm Leslie Sbrocco. Welcome to Check Please Bay Area, the show where regular Bay Area residents review and talk about their favorite restaurants. Now we have 3 guests, and each one recommends one of their favorite spots, and the other 2 go check them out to see what they think. This week, Fishmonger Gabe Trujillo brokers seafood from the world's oceans, supplying the best kitchens in the Bay Area. Dining out is part of the job and cultivates a deep appreciation for all things culinary, especially for things under the sea. Oakland native Kristen Lewis's background is multifaceted. Her legal training and experience led to a career as a business development executive. She seeks out the best local flavors showcased at her Oakland hotspot. But first, produce salesman John Sbrocco loved his high school job so much that he made it his career. His old school Italian spot has been around for a long, long time. It's where the locals go to enjoy some great home-cooked Italian meals. In the Parkside neighborhood of San Francisco, step into Goldmere Italian Restaurant.
Coach, I need 2 ribeyes. Goldmere Restaurant was started by my father, Giuseppe Grande, in 1969. It was originally a jazz club on Fillmore Street. My father, Giuseppe, brought my brother and I both to the Goldmere at a young age, teaching us the family business. My name is Roberto Grande. I'm Domenico Grande, and we're at the Goldmere Restaurant.
We've worked here since we were about 15 years old, learning all the family recipes.
These are both your piccata, correct? My brother and I, we've been working so long together that we know each other's moves.
Growing up in the kitchen with my dad always had the whip right nearby, so if we ever made a mistake, bam, we both get lashed.
Fire 2 veal piccatas.
That's what taught us to be good cooks.
Best thing about it is my dad once told me, I'll give you guys a ladder. It's your job to climb it.
We source all our food. We bring in fresh fish, fresh veal.
My mother and father, both from Sicily, both from a fishing town, so they grew up on fresh seafood. If you come to the restaurant and walk down the hall towards the bathrooms, you'll find Goldie, which is a painting that is done from the back. Now, Goldie is holding a gold mirror, and she is looking at her reflection. Time, effort, hard work, sweat, it pays off. What I love about our customers is that they're family. Walking through these doors, it's like walking into our house. Bon appetit.
Now, John, how often do you go to your restaurant? A lot.
Now that you have blown my cover, because my wife wonders why I don't eat dinner at home. Thank you, Leslie.
You're welcome.
I go at least 3 to 4 times a week.
You don't.
I love it.
I mean, if you're eating there that much, there must be a multitude of dishes.
There is. I usually do an appetizer with calamari. They just do it in a little olive oil and garlic, and it's just tender and it's crispy. Oh, delicious. And then the Caesar salad, I mean, it's enough for 2 people. The dressing, it's not too heavy. Sometimes I go over the top and do a Caesar salad with a piece of salmon, and they do it just right. Remember, this restaurant's been here since 1969.
That's right. Owned by the same family since 1969.
The Grande family.
Yeah. That's
Which
right.
is incredible because Dom and Roberto in the kitchen, they're in there cooking where the father sits at the bar, has a cup of coffee.
So this place has history.
It has so much history.
So
and
much
and
San
what I
Francisco
love about
history.
it is there's not many old-fashioned Italian restaurants in the city anymore.
And it's like walking back in time, isn't it, when you get
It
into
is.
that?
I thought the decor was a little, it reminded me of medieval times. I mean, yeah, I guess walking back, 1,000 years. But I mean, I didn't expect that. But it was truly a busy place. You could tell there's tons of families there. So we had the stuffed avocado with the Dungeness crab and with the
Which is one of their signature
Yes,
dishes.
which was
it is.
actually was really good. And the sauce that was drenched over it was like almost like a shrimp louis except with avocado. It was yummy.
Piled high with crab.
Piled high. Yeah, it went really fast. It was too small actually.
Want another one, huh?
Yeah. Well, there was a few of us that had it, so we were like doing this.
We started with escargot, which I had never had before. And it was a new, interesting experience. I really liked it. It was buttery, it was garlicky.
Right.
So we went with a group of 4, my husband and I went with another couple, and we pretty much ordered the entire menu. But my favorite thing was actually the fettuccine alla romana, which was phenomenal. Probably the best fettuccine I've ever had. It was creamy, it was delicate, not too salty. It was rich without being overwhelming, which I really, really enjoyed.
So you've got a couple of go-tos, I'm sure, when it comes
I do
to...
have the go-tos. The cannelloni is incredible with a red and white sauce. It's light, so you get 2 pieces on the plate and you want 5 pieces. You know what I mean? So the lasagna is homemade. Sheets of noodles, homemade ricotta with their homemade sauce, which they won't tell me what it is. When you put a fork in the lasagna, it's like butter. It just goes through softly.
So I got to go back for that.
Oh, my lasagna is the number one thing there in cannelloni.
He had the calamari steak that I thought it was bathed. It was like in a bath of the sauce that it was. I want to say it was a caper sauce, just olive oil, butter, just rich, cooked perfectly.
Kristen, what else did you have? From pasta, you moved on.
I did. I had the petrale sole, and a good friend had the Chilean sea bass. I loved her sea bass. It was
I missed the
fantastic.
sea bass.
It was, I think it was the fish of the day.
Oh, well, there you go.
Yeah, so it was very good. Hers was delicious. My petrale sole was not as good. Sorry, John.
Sure.
He didn't make it. It's all
True,
right.
very true. It lacked a little bit of flavor. It didn't have much salt. It seemed like a large plate of just fish with butter. But it had a side dish of rice and vegetables, and the rice was amazing. It was really fluffy and very flavorful, so I really enjoyed that.
Gabe, what did you have to drink?
A martini.
Gin or vodka?
Gin.
Of course.
Any restaurant that has a bar in it, I'm pretty happy with. And that bar was like, it was happening. I mean, it was almost like a club.
Yeah.
And that's the vibe of the place, isn't it? I mean, you can tell people knew people there,
Yeah.
So.
Desserts?
I go there.
Desserts,
tiramisu.
desserts.
Tiramisu, my favorite. That's why I've put on 30 pounds. It's a tiramisu.
The
God.
cheesecake was heavenly. It was a crustless cheesecake. It was so smooth, not too sweet. The 4 of us were basically fighting over this cheesecake. It was amazing.
And what about service? You had mentioned a little bit of
The service was, well, we were seated immediately and very attentive at first. He got us our wine, our drinks, and then he disappeared and he was gone for a good, I would say, 10 minutes. So I had to get up and go look for him. But once I got him, he came back.
Once
and he
you
was
dragged
there.
him back, he
yeah,
was yours
it was a
forever.
little rushed, but the joint was pretty hopping. I mean, it was a Saturday night. Maybe a Saturday night's not the best night
It's
to go
packed
for
on
someone
Saturday
for
night.
a new guy. Yeah, it was packed.
All right, this is your spot. Give us a quick summary.
Great restaurant, local neighborhood. Been there since 1969. I recommend it highly.
All right, and Gabe.
Solid. It was solid Italian food, old school. Would I go back? Yeah, sure. Why not?
Okay, and Kristen.
Gold Mirror, great neighborhood Italian restaurant. Fun, friendly, good food.
All right, if you would like to try Gold Mirror Italian Restaurant, it's located on Taraval Street at 18th Avenue in San Francisco. The telephone number is 415-564-0401. It's open weekdays for lunch and every day for dinner. Reservations are recommended, and the average tab for dinner without drinks is around $45. Gabe's contemporary but cozy spot sports a chef with an excellent pedigree, an enormous glass wine cellar, and a Michelin star. Skilled hands turn the homegrown ingredients into a fine dining experience. In Saratoga at the Plumed Horse Restaurant.
My name is Chef Peter Armelino, partner in the Plumed Horse Restaurant in Saratoga, California. The Plumed Horse has been a restaurant since the 50s. It was originally a stable, and during the 10 years that I've been at the Plumed Horse, we've had a Michelin one-star review for consecutive 8 years. We've also regained our Wine Spectator Grande Award, and it's a very wine-centric restaurant. The wine director is Jeffrey Parasho. He is a master at seamlessly blending together wines that integrate with my food. We like to bake our own bread in-house. We have a full-time butcher. We make a little bit of cheese. We grow peppers that we like to pickle in the summer. Often people associate my cuisine with find the pickle. Where is the pickle in this dish? Because Peter Piper picked a pack of pickles, so. Dining at the Plumed Horse, it's a personalized experience. We try to cater to each individual guest on any given occasion, whether it be an anniversary or a birthday. We want the guests to leave feeling overwhelmed with kindness, overwhelmed with service, overwhelmed with a special attentive detail. We would love for every guest to leave feeling content and happy.
Gabe, this is an iconic spot. This is a special place, isn't it?
Yes, it is a special place. It's been there for a good, I would say, gosh, since the 80s. It's been around. Mm-hmm. I've been going there for the last 10 years.
Because you can have a tasting menu, you can
generally do the tasting menu. Mm-hmm. I mean, I'm all about, I'm here at your house, take care of me. Usually what I start off with is the little omelet with the caviar, like a huge dollop of Osetra caviar, and I just go from there.
Mm-hmm. I took my wife and we went on a Monday night. Could not get reservations for a while because it was booked. It was a unique experience. When we got there and walking in with the fireplace in the bar, it was absolutely gorgeous. And I'll be honest with you, I have not been to a restaurant this elegant in a long time. You're laughing because I don't think you have either.
I have it.
You spend all your time at the Gold Mirror.
I don't have time. I don't have time for this. I did the tasting. My wife did the crab souffle, which was, oh my God. They put the sauce on the side and then poked a hole, and that was really, really good. So for me, the experience of going to a restaurant like that, it's not cheap.
No.
It is not cheap. But I'll tell you, for a special occasion, it was a really nice night. I had a glass of champagne.
Smart man.
Champagne cart coming out to you.
Yeah, that's nice.
Gold Mirror doesn't have a champagne cart. I mean, this is like, I said, who are you? And he goes, champagne lady. And I'm like, wow. So I did the tasting menu, and there was things on there I've never had before. I'll be honest with you.
Such as?
Antelope, very good. They laid it over like a celery root. Incredible. I want it more. Mm-hmm. I wanted the whole antelope. I didn't get it. The abalone, wow. Yes. I want it more. Because I think my server was irritated with me because every time he put a plate, I was done in 2 seconds.
Well, that's a local abalone. He gets it over the hill from Davenport, and so
Davenport abalone.
Jump in here, Kristen. Jump in here because
I loved everything about the Plumed Horse. It was absolutely phenomenal.
It was good,
and it wasn't as expensive as my husband and I thought it would be.
And what did you start with?
We started with the Japanese hamachi, and we shared it. And the hamachi was light, thin slices of fish. It was refreshing. It was just, it had grapefruit. It was fantastic. I loved everything about it.
You've been going for 10 years. This is a pretty expensive habit.
I'm worth it.
Kind of like a crack addict. You don't mind me saying.
And if you're going to have a habit, why not? Take care of yourself. Food is my favorite thing. And it gives me an excuse to leave the city, go somewhere else, pretend I'm on a little bit of a holiday, just indulge.
The wine list is, I would venture to say, one of the best in the country. I mean,
it's phenomenal.
Thousands
and their
and
wine
thousands
cellar
of bottles.
is like, it's stellar.
Glass
I mean,
that is incredible. incredible.
Yeah, it's really cool. It's a
took
centerpiece
pictures
of the
in
whole
there.
joint. I mean,
Absolutely.
You know.
I mean, they have verticals, which means, you know, vintage after vintage
Right.
after
Yes.
vintage deep. They've got Madeira,
It's serious.
an amazing dessert wine,
Yeah.
back to the early 1900s. I mean, if you want to spend $1,000 or $2,000 or $5,000,
You certainly
they've got
can.
Burgundy older than me.
Generally, you start off with a martini, of course. You know, like just to pretend I'm Darren Stevens or Larry Tate, and you know, just go for it.
I'll be Samantha.
And they have my favorite gin there. It's Monkey 47.
Oh, it's a great gin.
Yeah, I love it, and you don't see it all the time.
How about the bread guy? That's what I love.
bread.
They make it fresh
Yes.
every day.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you, the service there, forget
it's
about it.
phenomenal. It's
I've never been to a
excellent.
restaurant like that in my life. Your water goes down 2 drips, they're there.
They're there refilling.
Very polite, very good.
But they're not in your
unobtrusive.
face.
No,
Right,
they're not in
exactly,
your
exactly.
face.
The cool thing I thought was that they had a ton of amuse-bouche, and so they came around, and I think we had probably 4 or 5 different things.
Your mouth was happy.
Oh, my mouth was so happy. I was a little worried. I saw the portion size. I'm like, it's kind of small. I don't know. But there were so many different things to taste. We were stuffed by the time we left. Thing I thought was the most interesting was it was a mozzarella ball. And I was like, oh, what's that? It was so beautiful. I thought it was just kind of a decoration. And I took it and I dipped it in olive oil. And it was so lightly fried and so just phenomenal. And I had the petrale sole, which is what I had at Gold Mirror. And everything about it was perfection. Had a yuzu hollandaise and matsutake mushrooms. They came and sprinkled on top, so they were still crispy and crunchy.
And what about desserts?
Oh my God, what do you think I did?
I think you
Dessert cart. Here we go. Champagne guy, you go in the back room. We're doing dessert cart. Oh my God, incredible. And what I loved, I took one. It was this little square with jelly. It was stuffed with jelly. Oh, take as many as you want. Really? Okay. Honey, get your
John's
purse.
putting them in his pocket.
Oh, and then they had these cookies. And I felt like Willy Wonka. It was like, that. And it was really good because I was full. I'm a big eater. But with the tasting menu and the appetizers, complimentary things from the chef, I was good.
We've got to wrap it up, so give me a quick summary.
Casual elegance and a refined dining experience. You deserve it. You should treat yourself to it.
All right, and Kristen.
Impeccable service, even better food, casual, love everything about it.
All right, and John.
Oh, for a special occasion, this is a place to go to.
All right, if you would like to try the Plumed Horse Restaurant, it's located on Big Basin Way at 4th Street in Saratoga. The telephone number is 408-867-4711. It's open for dinner Monday through Saturday. Reservations are recommended, and the average tab for dinner without drinks is around $100. Tequila, the famed Mexican spirit. Well, it just might be looking over its shoulder right now, as its earthy alter ego, mezcal, is rising in popularity. What's the difference? Top tequilas are made from blue agave, primarily in the state of Jalisco. Authentic mezcal can be made from a variety of agave, known as maguey, primarily from the state of Oaxaca. Mezcal is earthy and smoky, while tequila is spicy and fruity. In both spirits, the heart, or the piña, of the agave must be roasted. With mezcal production, the roasting takes place in pits dug in the ground. After days of slow smoking, agave syrup is coaxed from the sweet piñas using ancient techniques. Then it's distilled into mezcal. There's a proliferation of artisanal mezcal offered in the market today, including the lineup from Del Maguey. Their single village mezcals express the terroir history and uniqueness of this flavorful spirit. I'll have a sip. Kristen loves the cuisines of Central America, and her pick showcases fresh ingredients in family recipes that span Mexico's Central and Pacific coast. All this makes it more than your typical taqueria. It's the go-to spot in the Jack London district in Oakland, and it's called NIDO.
We built NIDO with a lot of trash from the area, a lot of pallets from the produce mart, shipping containers from the waterfront, just a lot of repurposed things. So we wanted
repurposed materials, not trash. My name is Sylvia McCullough.
I'm Corey McCullough, and we're the owners of NIDO in Oakland.
The original dishes were inspired by my mom, my family being from Nayarit, the Pacific coast. We've now expanded our menu to have some influences from some of our line cooks and co-chefs.
I fell in love with mezcal. I met Sylvia and her ties to Mexico, and I wanted that mezcal to be a focal point of the bar. A good collection, wide variety.
Obviously, we present everyone with silverware. But I think the food is supposed to be messy, and the mole is supposed to be runny, and you're supposed to pick up the tacos with your hands. But we still see people, cutting into their taco, which is fine. So we now have a daughter. She's been used to the restaurant since she was in the womb, so she loves the noise, she loves the music, she loves everyone.
We wanted to start turning this side of Jack London Square, the warehouse district, into someplace else to go. And we have great neighbors, and it's a great spot.
All right, Kristen, NIDO means nest, doesn't it? And you do sort of get that all-encompassing, all-embracing feeling at this place, don't you?
Absolutely. It's a small, cozy place.
And it's a husband and wife team.
Exactly. And they live right in the neighborhood. And so when they were kind of thinking of a restaurant, they wanted something that felt like home to them. So my favorite thing are the trout croquetas. They're smoky and they're small, but they come on a plate of crema. It's a combination of smoked trout and potato and onions, and it's just this.
Those were standout, I have to say.
That was really good.
They're fantastic.
I wish there was more than just 3.
Yeah,
and bigger.
And bigger. Yeah.
Sorry.
There's a theme here.
Sorry.
And the thing is, they were wonderful. I wish they would have been hotter. So
mine have always been super hot, and I love them. But the other thing I love there is the fish of the day. And the last time was halibut in this fish broth that's tangy and spicy and phenomenal. It's light. It's very satisfying.
I didn't see a fish of the day the night we were there. My favorite thing was probably the kale salad, actually. And it was like an avalanche of crema and and a cantijo queso on top, and it was I like cheese. It was just smothered with cheese. And then with the pomegranate, it gave it a little tang. And the avocado that's nice and creamy, and it was a dichotomy that I liked with the crunchy kale and just the cream, and it hit me on all levels. My other favorite dish was the eggplant casserole kind of. I mean, it was a black bean mole sauce.
Yeah.
I loved that. It was great. It didn't come with tortillas though, and that was really.
The tortillas are fantastic.
Yeah, I know, but
they're homemade and they're so good.
So these are homemade,
and they're not like these giant honking tortillas. They're just they're not too oily, and they've got a nice thickness to them.
What did you have, John?
Well, what do you think I started with? I started with margaritas.
They got a lot of margaritas,
But
don't
it's
they? You got
weird.
your
The
choice of
margaritas aren't really big margaritas, but wow.
They pack a punch.
They pack a punch.
And they've got some mezcals there, too.
Yes,
and they do a mezcal tasting, actually.
Guac and chips.
The chips are great.
But see, mine chips were hot.
Mine are always
and
hot,
I
too.
love that.
I want my tortillas,
Maybe they didn't, I don't know, you weren't getting hot stuff.
I wasn't getting it.
What about the carnitas?
The carnitas, oh my God, that was wonderful. They threw pork ear in it, and trotters, and I'm all about that. Put the parts in there.
I like that.
Snout to tail, baby.
Let's eat it off. Those are the best parts.
Yeah. And what else did you have?
I did this homemade soup. It had Brussels sprouts, carrots, all these different vegetables, and it had chicken. They were chunks. Loved it. My wife had the tostadas. They were great.
The ají tostaditas.
Yes.
Oh gosh, they're fantastic.
Yeah.
They're mixed in with fresh ají, with avocado, and they're stuffed full. They're stuffed to the top. They're fantastic.
And I'll tell you, the service, I went lunchtime.
Oh, okay.
Which is great about this restaurant. If you need gas, you go across the street, you got your gas, you got parking. I liked it.
Yeah.
I enjoyed that. And if I'm in Oakland, I will make sure I go to that place.
Anything else?
Actually, the flan.
Yeah.
I don't typically like flan. It's not too sweet. It's just enough to finish your meal. It's not too big. It's not too sweet.
I had liquid flan. I had the blanco y negro, and, which is horchata and coffee. Great combination. And I added a shot of rum.
Of course
That
you
is like
did.
a liquid
Of course you
flan.
did.
Yeah, that's a liquid flan.
What I thought was interesting is that they don't take reservations. I'm usually leery of that, but they had the policy call 15 minutes ahead, and so we did. And it worked.
And that's a good policy.
I like
It
it.
is.
Actually,
to be aware of.
It's pretty smooth.
I've never had to wait there. As many times I've been, I've actually never
That's
had
great
to
to
wait.
hear.
Now, is
Yeah, we
that dinner or lunch?
Lunch and brunch, actually.
Yeah, I heard the brunch is really
it's out of
good.
this world. The
I didn't go for
chilaquiles
brunch.
is phenomenal.
Right.
Phenomenal. And I love chilaquiles.
Hopefully those are warm tortillas as well.
Oh.
They are nice and warm and delicious.
Don't push your luck, buddy.
What I loved about it, it's also close to a BART station, so
And freeway entrance.
and
Boom.
it's
you're
right
on.
there.
right there.
This is true.
Right.
This is your spot. Wrap it up for us.
NIDO, fantastic neighborhood restaurant, shabby chic, phenomenal food, good portions.
All right,
give it
Gabe.
a try.
Nouveau Californios cuisine, really fresh, very current. I'd definitely go back.
And John.
Great Mexican restaurant in Oakland. Farm fresh to the table. Everything was delicious, and I will definitely go back.
All right, if you would like to try NIDO, it's located on Oak Street at 5th in Oakland. The telephone number is 510-444-6436. It's open for lunch and dinner Tuesday through Friday with dinner on Saturday and brunch on weekends. Reservations are not accepted, and the average tab for dinner without drinks is around $25. I have to thank my great guests on this week's show. John Sbrocco, who takes us back in time with Gold Mirror Italian Restaurant in San Francisco, and he has a great name. Gabe Trujillo and the layered flavors and luxurious ingredients at the Plumed Horse Restaurant in Saratoga. And Kristen Lewis, whose pick showcases elevated family recipes and regional Mexican cuisine at NIDO in Oakland. So join us next time when 3 new guests will recommend their favorite spots right here on Check Please Bay Area. I'm Leslie Sbrocco, and I'll see you then. Cheers, everyone.
Cheers.
Cheerios. Chin chin. Salud. Saúde. So now it's your turn. We want to hear from you if you visited any of our Check Please restaurants. You can post a selfie on Instagram, join the conversation on Facebook, and tweet us anytime. And don't forget to visit our website. All the shows are there, along with my wine videos and notes about the wines we drink on set. You'll also find our fun new web series, Taste This, where we celebrate food and drinks around the Bay. Cheers.
Check Please Bay Area is made possible by the members of KQED and by IRG has in-trend surfaces, quieter marbles, and rare exotics. Over 10,000 slabs in stock today. IRG in Brisbane and Dublin and at marblecompany.com.
Mattress systems from European Sleepworks, working to improve comfort and wellness for over 40 years. At Adeline and Ashby in Berkeley. Online at sleepworks.com.
Oakland International Airport. Now with flights all over the world. iFlyOAK.com.
Sutter Health CPMC, 7,000 employees, nurses, and physicians caring for their communities every day. Your city, your hospital. CPMC2020.org. La Tour Angèle Artisan Oils, French-inspired and handcrafted in Northern California. La Tour Angèle creates natural, healthy cooking oils that add new flavor to everyday dishes.
Total Wine & More offers more than 8,000 wines from around the world and more than 2,500 beers, including hard-to-find seasonal brews and imports. Now open in Mountain View, Pleasant Hill, and Fremont.